A man who claimed to have murdered 37 people sent the police a message entirely in symbols. For 51 years, nobody could read it. Not the FBI, not the NSA, not a single professional cryptographer who tried. In December 2020, 3 strangers on 3 different continents who had never met in person finally cracked it. What the message actually said was not what anyone expected. This is the file on the Zodiac's 340 cipher. Between December 1968 and October 1969, a man Northern California would come to know only as Zodiac attacked 5 young couples in the hills and lovers lanes around San Francisco. 2 of his victims survived. 5 did not. But it wasn't the killings that made Zodiac different from every other unidentified murderer of his era. It was what he did next. He started writing letters to newspapers, to the police, taunting them. And in July of 1969, he split something strange across 3 of those letters, a 408-character cryptogram made of substitution symbols instead of plain English. He claimed it contained his real identity. It took exactly 1 week to break. A school teacher named Donald Harden, working with his wife Betty at their kitchen table, guessed that the word kill would appear somewhere in the text and built outward from there.
"I like killing people," the message read, "because it is so much fun. No name, no address, just a confession dressed up as a puzzle." Zodiac had been beaten in a week, and he clearly didn't like it. Act 2, the code that wouldn't break. On November 8, 1969, a second cipher arrived at the San Francisco Chronicle. This one had 340 characters, and unlike the first, it refused to fall. Professional cryptanalysts at the NSA tried. The FBI's own cryptography unit tried. Amateur codebreakers around the world tried for decades, feeding the symbols through every substitution method known to cryptography. Nothing worked. Not for a year, not for a decade. The Zodiac Killer was never caught, and the one piece of physical evidence that might have explained him sat in an evidence file, unread, for longer than most of the people trying to solve it had been alive. By the 2010s, the 340 cipher had become something close to legend in the code-breaking world. A puzzle smart enough to beat the most powerful intelligence agencies on Earth, sitting in plain sight the entire time. And then 3 men who had never worked together in person decided to try one more time. Act 3, 3 strangers, 1 key. David Oranjak, a software developer in Virginia. Sam Blake, a mathematician in Australia. Jarl van Eyck, a programmer in Belgium who'd spent years building a piece of cryptography software called AZDecrypt, capable of testing 200 possible solutions a second with better than 99% accuracy.
Working remotely across 3 time zones, the team fed Van Eyck's software a theory almost everyone before them had dismissed, that the killer hadn't just substituted letters for symbols, he'd also scrambled the order the symbols were meant to be read in. Once they let the software test for that combination, substitution and transposition together, fragments started resolving into real words for the first time in 51 years. On December 5th, 2020, the message clicked into place. The FBI reviewed the solution. It held up. After 51 years, 8 federal agencies, and an untold number of broken theories, here is what the world's most famous uncracked code actually said. "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me." That's it. A taunt. The killer mocking the very people trying to identify him and clarifying, almost casually, that he wasn't the man who'd called into a local television station weeks earlier claiming to be Zodiac. No name, no address, no confession beyond what the world already knew. 51 years of failed attempts, 3 brilliant strangers, and a piece of software that could test 200 theories a second, all to confirm that the man behind it all was still, in the end, just laughing at everyone looking for him. 2 more Zodiac ciphers exist, Z15 and Z32. As of this recording, neither one has been officially confirmed solved by the FBI, though that hasn't stopped people from claiming they've cracked them too. And the Zodiac Killer himself, never identified, never caught, never connected with full certainty to a single name. He wanted to be impossible to read. For 51 years, he was right. If you think you know who solved the last 2 ciphers, or who Zodiac really was, put your theory in the comments. I read every one. If you want more cases other channels won't touch, subscribe to the Frozen Files. We'll see you in the next file.